The property section within MantisProperty makes it really easy to manage all the properties in your local area and also combine things such as tenancies, appraisals, and listings that belong to a property into a single record in your database. So say for instance you have a rental property that you list multiple times over the years and you have multiple listings for it. This will allow you to just have a single record of that property, and when you bring it up, you can see all the history of that property, including all the previous listings, all the previous tenancies, etc. It also allows you to bring up any of your properties and see any appraisals that have been made on that property over time. To access the property section, you just click on Properties here. It's important to remember that there is a big difference between properties and listings. Properties are physical properties that are in your area that you may be interested in keeping an eye on, whereas listings are your actual listings, whether they're active listings or inactive listings such as sold or withdrawn listings. You can have multiple listings attached to a single property. So looking in here, we can see we've got a number of properties here. Every time you add a new listing or an appraisal, it automatically creates a property record if that property doesn't already exist. You can also manually add properties if you want to through here. So we're going to go ahead and add a property right now. To do this, click on Add Property, and then we select what type of property it is. So I'm going to select it's a residential property, and we'll type in the address. When you enter in the state and suburb, it'll automatically pick the valid postcode from the Australia Post database. This is important for when you're creating listings to ensure that the portals accept that listing as a correct address. So we click Continue here, and that's it. The property is now been added. So as you can see here up the top, it's got all the information that we've just added. You can update that information if you want, and then further down here is key information. So this is where you can store information such as bedrooms, bathrooms, toilets, living areas, etc. You can also put in information such as valuation, date and value, council rates, water rates, body corporate, that sort of thing. If your account is connected up to Pricefinder, you can also click a button that will automatically pull this data in for properties, so you don't need to look it up. Over on the right is a map showing where this actual property exists, and you can click larger map to view a larger Google map. This is all interactive, this map. And then across here are a series of tabs to give you access to different areas regarding that property. So in Appraisals, this will show any appraisals that have been recorded for this property. As you can see, it's already got one showing here, even though we just created the property. And the reason it does this is MantisProperty is intelligent enough to know that when you create a property, it looks up to see if there's any appraisals, listings, or tenancies for that same property address, and if so, it'll automatically attach them to that property, so you don't need to manually do that. So here we can see that there's an appraisal. Click on Edit View to view the appraisal, or you can add a new appraisal for this property by clicking Create New Appraisal. The same goes for listings. If we click on Listings, it'll show there's no current listings for this property. But we can click on Create New Listing if we want to create a new listing for that property. And again, for tenancies, this shows that there's no current tenancies on this property. But if you want to record a new tenancy, just click Create New Tenancy. We also have a Notes section and a Document section where you can store notes and documents related to that particular property that you want to keep on file. To search properties, it's super easy. Just click on Properties on the left, and you can use the text search box to either type in a street name, suburb, and/or state. This will do partial matches on addresses, so you could type in, say, the street number and street name, and then it'll search your database for any properties that match. Or you have a filter section over here, so you can filter by the type of property that you want to look for, the country that it's in, which state it's in, and then right down to which suburb it's in. And that will automatically filter through there. So that's it for the property section. It's nice and simple, easy to use, but it's a really useful tool for keeping track of properties that you want to keep an eye on or that are in your area, especially if there's multiple listings over time on a property and you don't want to be jumping in and out of different listings to find information on a property.